Hey, Forrest here. Nothing like getting paid. And with ICCU's mobile app, I can deposit checks or accept Zelle payments so the money hits my account fast. I just wish there was an app for mowing the rest of these lawns.
Right now, Lithia Ford of Boise is buying used vehicles. How much you want for the SUV?
I don't know.
Well, Lithia Ford will give you more than that.
How much more?
More than you think.
I'm not thinking anything.
I'm thinking you might get even more than that. See how much more you can get at Lithia Ford of Boise.
When it comes to concrete, we've got you covered. RowPaint.com offers custom concrete coating services for your garage, business, warehouse, and more. And we do it in one day. We are your complete concrete coatings solution.
This is Bronco Nation News Live. The best interviews, the most informed opinions, the latest breaking news, all from the top Boise State insiders. Joining BJ Rains today is KTVB Sports Director Jay Tust. Check him out on Twitter at KTVB Sports Guy and make sure to check out KTVB.com. Now here's Jay Tust and BJ Rains with another edition of Bronco Nation News Live.
Well, the Boise State men's basketball team has arrived in Sacramento. Head coach Leon Rice. First one off the bus, as it should be. There's Robin Rice. Broncos arriving about 3:30 yesterday afternoon. Went and got a quick practice in. And it's a full, busy day of press conferences and open practice and a lot going on today for the Broncos in Sacramento ahead of tomorrow's 4:35 Pacific, 5:35 Mountain Time start for the Broncos against Northwestern in the first round of the NCAA tournament. And welcome on in, Bronco Nation News Live. We got Jay Tust, we got myself, first time I believe in history that we've done this from a hotel room. Jay Tust actually doing a live broadcast from bed.
I'm sitting on the corner of it, okay? Easy there, Turbo.
But no, appreciate you, Jay, for coming down. Mm-hmm. Jay's already got his workout in. He already got his run in. And now, and he's got his coffee.
Yeah,
and
we're good to go.
We got the Bang energy drink today, myself. But no, excited to be here. Excited to chat with you and talk Boise State basketball. And Jay, we both got in yesterday ahead of the team, and just to see the signs on the wall and the bracket and the wall and the hotel had all the March Madness stuff. Kind of makes it seem real.
It does, and it's so funny. Like the NCAA tournament is so strict, right? But it also kind of establishes the standard, so you know what you're getting into. You know what you sign up for. You know that practice today is just going to be awesome watching them on a court. Like it's just going to be a simple walkthrough where they don't do a ton and they're really going to go practice afterwards. But it's still there's just an energy and a feeling around today specifically, and then they turn it loose tomorrow on the court against Northwestern. This really is one of the funnest things to cover. It is an absolute blast. I don't know whether it's more fun to cover than a big bowl game or not, but you just know what you're getting into. Practice schedules are very specific. Interview schedules are specific. If it says that there's an interview at 2:05, that interview is going to start at 2:05. If it says it's going to wrap up at 2:15, it's going to wrap up at 2:15.
Yeah.
So I love today, and I can't wait.
Yeah, they don't even let you, if you're out there early and the other team's off the court, you can't start your practice until the clock hits zero. Yep. And it's 2:05, and you can't even touch the ball and like dribble on the side. You cannot get on the court until your 40 minutes starts, and you have to be off the court. They are legit. Even for the media, we can't even walk out onto the court with like a can of soda. You got to pour it into a Powerade official NCAA cup. All this stuff is pretty serious.
Yeah, I'm one thing that I'm eager to see, though, BJ, at the end of the practice last year, after the starters and stuff are just kind of done with a little mini shoot around.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
They had like a little March Madness for all the guys that usually kind of sit towards the end of the bench, right? And I remember like Kobe Young putting on a dunk contest last year. Yeah, RJ was out there. Probably see RJ today. He's got. Yeah. I know he was injured at the beginning of the year, but he's now back practicing with the team. So that's kind of like I can't remember exactly what they call it. It's like mini madness or something like that for the guys that don't get to play a ton. This is their moment to like really experience the joys, the thrills of the NCAA tournament for those guys and motivate them, for next year to see if they can actually play and be contributors to this team.
I do remember that. That was pretty cool. I'm trying to remember. It was Keene, and I think it was Sam Winter maybe,
Yeah.
or it was a Burke Smith. Or I forget who else was out there, but it was 2-on-2, and it was a pretty competitive game too.
But the funny thing about it is, by the end of it, man, they were kind of rotating in and stuff, but the guys were just exhausted. You could tell that some of the red shirts didn't want to get off the court, though, so they were just trying to stay out there as long as they could. But they were exhausted by the end of that thing. It was just kind of like a really cool moment, though, because those guys got one heck of a thrill out of it.
Yeah, we'll take your comments or questions. We got about 25 minutes left. If you'd like to jump in with your thoughts, your questions, your score predictions for tomorrow, any big upsets you have in your bracket, we'll take those on the ICCU YouTube chat. And Jay, the schedule for today, we kind of hit on it, but we're going to go over and do some interviews at the hotel here in a little while, and then they'll have the official open practice day, I believe 11 a.m. Is the first practice, Utah State. So if you're in the area all day today, you get to watch practices, and that is one of the cool things that the NCAA tournament does. And I remember, a long time ago when I was in high school, Florida, Billy Donovan, I think they had already won their first one. We're going for a second one. I believe either the Final Four or the Sweet 16, one or the other was in St. Louis. And I remember didn't have tickets, couldn't go to the game. It's obviously sold out, but was able to go down and watch the open practice. And I still have photos on my Facebook account somewhere of Florida practicing at the Dome. And so it is cool that they still stuck with that. They don't charge. It's free. You can go in and watch all the teams practice, see the court, feel the experience. Boise State will be this afternoon. You kind of threw me off with your times because you put the mountain times on your tweet earlier.
I'm sending those back to Boise so we get our coverage plans dialed in. But
we got the open practice, and then we'll have there's a press conference with Leon Rice and a couple of the players. And then another nice thing that they do for the tournament, which is now back after COVID, is open locker room. So the entire locker room is wide open. The media can go in there and get videos, photos, whatever, for about 30, 45 minutes. So a ton of content coming to KTVB tonight, coming to Bronco Nation News. And this is always a special day. And it's kind of the day I think that the players adjust to the court, adjust and kind of feel what it's like to be here. And then tomorrow it is go time.
Yeah, I'm so eager to see what this team can do, BJ. And I mean, we only got to wait, 36 more hours before we really figure this out. I mean, it's a little less than that, I guess.
Yeah.
They say that, they know what to expect now. The nerves won't be there as much as they were last year. But this is going to be a big hurdle for Boise State to clear. They're chasing their first ever NCAA tournament win. I don't know how many times you've already heard us say that. I don't know how many more times you will likely hear us say that prior to tip off tomorrow. But it's going to be frequent because they are just chasing what you could probably call the biggest milestone in program history. And it's crazy, BJ. This still has a chance, I think, to be defined as the greatest season in program history.
Sure.
If they win an NCAA tournament game, I don't know how you can't call this the greatest season in program history. I know that they won last year they won the regular season title, the tournament title in the Mountain West. But the implications that would come with an NCAA tournament victory would be program changing. It would be program building. It would be the next step for Leon Rice in year 13 of his tenure. And so they got a great chance, in my opinion. It will not be easy, but they got a great chance to get that done and accomplish that.
Yeah, not just talking to Boise State, but I'm looking forward to watching Northwestern practice and talk to their coach, Chris Collins, and hear from some of their players as well. So we'll get to do that today because I do think ourselves included when it at least me, I know I did, when it wasn't Duke that popped up, it was a big almost sigh of relief.
Yeah.
But you look at the film and you look at the stats. I mean, this team did finish second place in a league that got 8 teams or 9 teams to the NCAA tournament, and they've got some very strong guards, and so I do think a lot of people, just because of the name Northwestern, and it's not Memphis, it's not Kentucky, whatever, are kind of just assuming Boise State's going to win this game.
I'm going to take a little bit of credit for this, BJ, because I think that I wore this into existence. What do I mean by that? I don't really rock a lot of purple stuff because the evil empire on the west side of Washington is purple and gold, and of course I went to the better university, Washington State, on the east side of the state. But I have a lavender shirt. I wore it because it mimicked or got as close as I could to Northwestern colors on Selection Sunday. Nobody really picked up on that, but I wore it into existence that they would get to play this Northwestern men's basketball team.
Shame on the rest of us for not putting 2 and 2 together there. So give Jay Tust the credit for that. But Northwestern's a pretty good team.
They are a good team, but they're completely beatable. How do you do that, BJ? You score 65 points against them.
Okay. Because their defense is just about as good as Boise State's in the numbers.
Their defense is outstanding. You look at Ken Palm, I believe Northwestern's 13 in Ken Palm. Boise State's 14 in Ken Palm when it comes to defensive efficiency. Northwestern, though, BJ, when opponents score 65 or more points against them this year, 65 or more, they are a 1-in-10 basketball team. Now, what does that mean on the flip side?
Because they don't score as much.
They're
not a great offensive
right.
team.
But what does that mean on the flip side? When they hold opponents under 65 points, they are 20-1.
How about that?
So I mean that's the number you got to hit. You have to hit 65 tomorrow if you want a chance to beat Northwestern, in my opinion.
8:15 here in California, and Jay's bringing the Tust stats already. Hey, we are broadcasting from the Cutwater Spirits Mobile Studios on the road here at the Holiday Inn Media Hotel in downtown Sacramento, right across the street from the Golden One Center. Cutwater Spirits, more than 30 flavors of premium premix cocktails. You can pick one up at your local gas station or grocery store. Rowpaint.com, our title sponsor of Bronco Nation News. Check them out. Helping make these broadcasts free of charge for you guys. ROEpaint.com. They're scheduling now for their concrete coatings for your garage, your back patio, your basement. Transformational. I've had the work done, and we love it. And you can check them out. Get more information. ROEpaint.com. Lithia Ford of Boise. They'll buy your used car. That's right. Even if you don't want to buy a car from them, which is crazy to think about because our Rains family couldn't be happier with our F-150. But if you're wanting to just trade in or just get rid of your used vehicle, they will make you a cash offer on the spot. So get more information, lithiafordboise.com. And I mentioned the ICCU YouTube chat, one of our major sponsors, Idaho Central Credit Union, ICCU.com. Check them out. Online, mobile, e-branch banking, so easy to use. So happy the Rains family and Bronco Nation News made the switch, and you'll be as happy as ever if you do as well. And the best part is there's a branch pretty much on every corner, but you never need to go in there because you can do it all from your phone or your computer once you sign up. So it's so easy to use, and we're very appreciative of Idaho Central Credit Union. And if you're looking for a job, check out TCS, Transportation Compliance Service. They can help you every step of the way to get into the trucking industry, whether it's the big rig on your screen, the Amazon truck, in your neighborhood. Let Transportation Compliance Service help you out and get the permits and things to get you out there towing that first load in no time. Jay, I do want to we're going to hear from Leon Rice in a second. I'm going to play a little more of this sights and sounds from the hotel kind of in the background as we're talking here. This is yesterday when the team arrived. I mentioned all the March Madness signs and banners and things, but the experience factor, Jay, you see all this, and Leon Rice has mentioned it multiple times. All 5 starters for Boise State have played in an NCAA tournament game. I haven't checked down the Northwestern roster in terms of transfers and things, but it's been 5 or 6 years since they've been there. But Leon Rice mentioned it the day of the selection show, and then he mentioned it yesterday, and we will hear from him in a minute. But all those signs, all those balloons, all those things are not, Max Rice and Tyson Degenhart and these guys have seen that before. It's not oh my gosh, look how different this is than a normal hotel. And this open practice today and the press conference, like, all these guys have been through this already. Yeah. Last year you think about Tyson Degenhart and a lot of these players doing it for the first time, and I think they were a little wide-eyed. And then, you got to go up against the number 2 pick in the draft and Jalen Duren. I just think from a mental standpoint, Leon Rice has mentioned it, and when you do look and kind of observe everything like we did yesterday, I think that is going to, the experience factor of being here last year. Last year was just nice to get there. Yeah. You get the experience. I think this year there really is some value for these guys and already knowing all this kind of getting off the bus stuff and how and what's going to happen.
Well, sometimes it doesn't even need to be like so intangible when we talk about this. Like there are little schedule things like you already brought up. If a team has a court until 2:30 and they walk off the court at 2:20, Tyson Degenhart can't grab a basketball, go out there and start shooting at 2:21. He has to wait until 2:30, right? And so that's not even like a big thing, but it's just a thing. Like it's abnormal to what these guys are used to, doing whatever they want, basically when they want. And so just kind of knowing the checks and balances, I guess, if you will, of what you can and can't do, where you can and can't be. I think that's just going to help the team. Like that just little experience is going to help the team, get ready and build up to tip off tomorrow. And by the way, I mean, I know you might be shooting a little bit of this, but let's give Colin a shout out.
Yeah, Colin.
He's obviously putting a lot of this together.
Colin's putting a lot of the work together. He's behind the scenes over there, and we appreciate this. This was my video.
I can tell this was your video.
Yeah, this is why it's perfectly steady and in focus, and couldn't be better. But
actually, I was going to go. It was a little shaky, so that's why I knew it wasn't Colin.
We do have some video that Colin took here coming up in a second. We have the 2 angles. Here's Colin's video.
Oh, there we go.
We had the,
look how steady that is.
We have the double angle shot of the team coming in. We didn't want to miss anything, so Colin is. Colin is way more important to BNN than I am in terms of getting us on the air and all this kind of stuff. So
he's more important than me too.
Very appreciative of Colin, and we'll the people love Colin though, so we'll get it. I don't think he'd want to be on camera right now, but we'll get him on at some point.
I stole his hat, so.
Yeah, these last couple, I made him get up early today, so he doesn't have his coffee yet. But we will make sure Colin gets plenty of airtime the next couple of days. We're already game planning the open locker room today because there's stuff that's different for us as well. The open locker room, we're not used to having that, and it's at the same time as the press conference. So one of us is gonna have to go in there, and one of us is gonna do that.
It's the one thing I wish the NCAA would figure out. I know they stack a lot of this on top of each other to expedite the process for these players and coaches, but it would be nice if the open locker room time was not a pick or choose the open press conference time. We'll make it all work, though.
No doubt about it. So, but in terms of, they always say, Jay, that the teams that can advance in March are those experienced teams. And, not just all this stuff, but, once you actually get to the game, too, you have to hope that experience factor for Boise State means something.
And I think it does. I just think it does. I think that this team over the last year, the last 2 years, they have 51 wins, tied for 15th most in the NCAA over that span. They've won a lot of what they call brick fights. I feel like they're kind of ready for this moment, and it may be as ready as they'll ever be. I remember this time last year, I know that no team is perfectly healthy, but I still feel like last year they were maybe just a little bit more banged up going into this thing. And I remind you that they also had to play 3 games in 3 days down at the Mountain West Conference tournament last year. And so this, to me, is the most important thing, is getting an NCAA tournament victory now for this program. And so bowing out isn't the worst early at the Mountain West tournament isn't the worst thing in the world.
Yeah.
Maybe it helps their chances of getting an NCAA tournament victory just a little bit more. Even if it's 1% more, it's a massive thing. And it's really funny. Will Hall was texting me this morning, and he just sent me a video of practice last year, and it's Jalen Duran just throwing down these monster dunks. And at the very least, nobody like that exists on Northwestern's roster. It doesn't mean they don't have one of the more dynamic point guards in the country, and Boo Buie. Yes, that is his name. But yeah, at least they don't have to try to figure out the type of human that God just kind of reached down from the clouds, touched, and said, you are just going to be better than everyone else at basketball.
Me and Johnny were talking about this the other day, and Johnny made a funny comment, but it was so accurate. He said, we're standing on the sidelines watching Memphis during the open practice. We're like, are these guys playing Boise State, or are they in town to play the Blazers?
Yeah.
Like, they had some legit. It was right away. You knew Boise State might be in trouble. And with all that said, they cut it to 5 with a couple of minutes to go in that game, and they've talked about wanting to get off to a better start. But and I do want to get to a couple of comments here. Perry says we need a win. We've been waiting 40 plus years. This could very well be one of the biggest games of any sport in Boise State history. Probably the best look at a tournament victory we've seen. Oh, by the way, Kareem the Dream says this is iconic. Us doing the show, I guess, from a bed in our hotel room. But
Hold on, BJ's in a chair, by the way. I'm just on the corner of a bed. Like, let's just get that out of the way here.
You mentioned this being the greatest season ever. I don't think there's any doubt about it. And if they get a win, because it's never happened. I mean, it would first of all be the biggest win in Boise State basketball history. I know Prater and Johnny were debating it, and maybe hopefully this is a debate for us to have Friday if they win. Where this ranks in Boise State history. I don't think it passes the first Fiesta Bowl, obviously, but you can make a very strong case it passes number 2 and number 3. I mean, you don't number 2 and number 3, they're BCS bowl games, but the first one is obviously more important. I would say though, if you turn around and beet UCLA,
then it's a different story.
Then you're up there with the first Fiesta Bowl. I mean, getting this team to the Sweet 16.
Just the sheer magnitude of the opportunity, I guess. Like, imagine if Boise State beat Oklahoma, and then like a couple days later, they got a chance to chase another Fiesta Bowl victory.
But even we don't want to get too far ahead. But
we're talking Fiesta Bowl victories. We're talking the greatest football game maybe in college football history. That's what we're comparing things to.
And we can maybe make this the best calendar year if the football team can go do something this fall. But I think that, it would instantly be top 3 or 4 moment in the history of this athletics department, because, no offense to softball, any of the other sports, it's that the premier sports are football and men's basketball. I know you got a Justin Schultz rib coming, but I do think that it would be right up there. But you didn't win a championship. You got second. You lost in the semifinals of your conference tournament, but you didn't set the program record for wins yet. But if you are the team that wins the first NCAA big dance game in the history of the program, I think you would instantly become the best team in the history of the program.
Justin Schultz is actually a big fan of the NCAA tournament because they have this place on lockdown. There will be no court storming, regardless of how big the victory is.
I knew I liked Justin Schultz. So, when I found out he was not a fan of court storming,
he has to love how the NCAA just no fun. Nobody can have any fun. Stay off the freaking court. He's probably a very big fan of that. But it's just. For me, the reason why I would view this as such a big victory is because you see the things going on off the court, I would say, for this Boise State men's basketball team and the momentum they're building. And you hear about facilities, and it seems like they are so close to really getting that Arganchona remodel underway. They've already made some initial progress in terms of maybe doing that. But if they get this win, it just feels like the best is yet to come, and we're in year 13 of the Leon Rice era. You know, I don't want to like assume what Leon thinks or anything like that, BJ, but coming from Gonzaga, there's no way in his mind he wasn't thinking, how do we turn this into the next Gonzaga? There's no way you don't at least think that at some point in time, maybe not those exact words. And I think when he got to Boise State, he was like, I'm going to coach like this, I'm going to recruit like this, and I'm going to call timeouts like this, I'm going to treat my players like this. But there is so much more to a basketball program other than that, right? You need investment from your administration. You need support there to really elevate everything up, right? And so Leon was recruiting guys, and he was coaching guys, and he was calling timeouts, and he was doing all this right. But he never had that, it felt like, before. Now that's coming along, right? And so, as he said in his press conference the other day before he left Boise, it is all clicking. I heard that soundbite last night, and that just like it gives you, it really does almost give you goosebumps, because Leon Rice is, you can Google his age. He's knocking on the door of 60. He doesn't seem like it by any means. He is young at heart. He's in year 13 at Boise State, but you still feel like there is this snowball of energy that is coming down the hill, and it is charging hard. And if you stack an NCAA tournament victory on top of that, it's going to crash through the Mountain West.
It really is the last. For this era with the Max Rice and this group, it is the last kind of box to check. And how do you want to know that he's got it going like a Gonzaga or a program like that?
This is what you got to do.
They lost 3 starters, and they're back in the NCAA tournament the next year. When you can back up last year's team, lose 3 starters, and all of a sudden be back in the tournament the very next year, I mean, that obviously shows that you're moving this thing in the right direction.
And it kind of like in a very unpredictable way, though, too, BJ. Like, he had to move some pieces, and guys are playing more than he thought, and some guys are playing way less than he thought. But here we are back in the NCAA tournament. I mean, we had to wait such a long time.
Yeah.
Were you here for every NCAA tournament?
I had actually accepted the job at the Idaho Press Tribune prior to them playing LaSalle, but I didn't start for 2 more weeks.
Okay.
So I was in Florida.
Well, I have something over BJ.
I was in Florida. At like, I believe, a Yard House or a sports bar in Florida, watching the Boise State LaSalle game, knowing that if they had actually won that game, I was actually going to go cover them. Like, I think they were in Kansas City. I think it was going to be the next weekend or something. I was actually going to get to go cover them for my first ever day on the job. Was going to be covering a team in the NCAA tournament had they won, and they didn't. But I was obviously we were at the Dayton game.
Yep.
And then we don't talk about that one very much. But and then that's it's been what 7-8 years. Long wait for fans and everybody as well.
From 15 up until last year, it felt like forever, and now we like whip our heads around and we're back here again. And last year I got a Toyota Corolla rental. This year I got a Toyota Corolla rental, and it's just
I figured they'd put you up in the some sort of Escalade or SUV or something.
No, it's so funny though, just because it's like we're back, back, and then you get on the elevator after your 6 a.m. run, and you're dripping in sweat, and you probably smell. And
you like that? He just kind of snuck in the 6 a.m. run there, folks.
I'm actually somewhat embarrassed, though, because I get on the elevator, and I'm like, oh, that's Jamie Pollard, the Iowa State athletic director, who's also on the NCAA committee. And I was like, I gave my boy Will a shout out, and I said, hey, one of my best friends went to Iowa State, and I just got to say you're doing a great job. Good luck keeping Matt Campbell. I did throw a little Go Clones at him because we don't cover him, and no, Will's a good dude. So I've
you never know who you'll see in the media elevator.
Exactly.
Dan says I filled out my brackets, but they're nowhere near as cool as Naismith or Nelson's.
I thought I saw it. I think Karen tweeted out one of them today.
And then
Boise State over Michigan State. Or
Nelson has Boise State over Michigan State. Yes, but and then Naismith had I believe. had Kansas winning it all. But Oral Roberts was in the finals for one of my. I think it was Kansas over Oral Roberts, and so the Oral Roberts Twitter account actually retweeted my wife and said this is the best bracket we've ever seen.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah.
The only thing that there is no negative part of covering the NCAA tournament. There is no negative part of it.
You don't get to watch most of the other.
If there's
games.
one thing you just slightly maybe miss, it is just kind of sitting like for that 7-year window between 15 and 22 last year.
You bring your 4 TVs into the living room.
The basketball season was over today.
Yeah.
Like you just roll. You're ready for springtime. You started covering spring football, and then once April, 7th or 8th, whenever the spring game was over, you felt like you could kind of, really breathe for about 2 months before, you get into Mountain West Media Days and stuff again in July. But you look at some of these matchups though, man, and I just love some of them.
Who do you have in your Final Four, by the way? Josh wants to know.
I have not actually filled out a bracket yet. I think that UConn's got a great chance to make a little bit of a run.
I, for some dumb reason, have Texas in the Final Four, and I'm not liking that. But
I don't mind that coming out of their bracket.
I don't think it's going to be Houston. I don't think they're good enough.
I don't think they're.
I'm kind of chalk Alabama, Purdue, and Kansas and Texas.
I don't think that.
I don't like that much at all.
I don't know. Houston's so tough, but I don't know if they're as offensively gifted as Texas maybe can be at times.
By the way, I'm still the old school paper bracket.
Yeah.
You got to print it out. You got to fill it out. Every game I circle or cross out if I'm right or wrong. And then also one bracket. You can't be filling out 3 or 4 multiple brackets. Oh, on that bracket, I think I had this.
I fill out 12.
It is, yeah. That doesn't surprise me, but it is one bracket for me. Amy,
I would love to see Marquette and Purdue in the Elite Eight.
I don't know if I like Purdue that much either. I don't know.
Purdue could. Fall,
I don't love that bracket at all.
Yeah, they don't. I don't know. You look at the kind of Purdue's matchups, and nobody can slow down Edey. I would be interested to see Memphis versus Purdue more so last year than maybe this year. But Memphis, I don't know, Kendrick Davis, man, that dude can absolutely go.
Do we know what time? We don't know the time, but it'll be probably sometime in the evening. What they usually do, someone's asking, Amy asks if they win, do we know what time the game will be on Saturday? Usually what they do is there's like one site that gets the 2 games back to back, and then all the other games are piled in from like 5 to 10 p.m. So I would suspect, this being a West Coast, the games will be later in the day, but we don't know if it'll be the first one or the second one.
All you need to know, though, BJ Raines, Boise State over Northwestern.
There you go.
There it is.
Don't show them the second round.
I'll cover that one up. But Boise State.
I would certainly love to see the second one happen. But Kareem the Dream just beat Northwestern. That's it for now. Bill says monster game. Need this win. Make program history. What will happen? What will most likely happen? More than 15 bench points or win 2 tournament games?
Win 2 tournament games.
No faith in.
There's literally no doubt there.
Alexander says 36 is too many hours. Let's see. Now you need a shirt with a big W on it, Jay. I forget what we were talking about when you brought that up.
I don't know either.
Sorry, Perry.
Maybe the lavender shirt.
I read that. Since whatever you wear comes into existence. I guess. You got an orange or blue tie for tomorrow, right? Come on.
You got one. Yeah.
All right, that works. A lot of Leon's success, unmentioned assets and the assistant coaches and things, the program. Spencer, if you want to touch on the assistant coaches.
I would just say they might go unmentioned, but Leon took a definitely more than a moment, I'd say, the other day at his press conference to just talk about how his staff is the best that it's ever been.
Yeah.
And it truly is.
Well, from an experience factor, you talk about the players not getting wide-eyed and all this. When you got Burns and Duryea and some of these guys on the staff that have been coaching for 30 years,
you are ready to roll up your sleeves and go into battle. And that's why I do feel like there is a legit chance that Boise State can get the victory tomorrow. And I'm just going to go back to actually the St. Louis game, BJ. You look at what Boise State was able to do to Yuri Collins the last 2 years. I mean, Yuri is the straw that stirs the drink for St. Louis. A very good basketball team, an excellent basketball player. But last year, they limited Yuri to 1 assist. And when I looked it up earlier this year, I don't know since, if he's done it since Boise State played them, but that was the fewest he's ever had in a game in his NCAA career. And then this year he has 8 turnovers. At the time Boise State played him, that was the most he's ever had in a single game in his NCAA career. So I certainly look forward to what the Mike Burns effect, let's call it, can dial up against Boo Buie for Northwestern. And if they can find a way to limit him, make him uncomfortable, then that means that they got a chance to win.
Let's hear quickly from Leon Rice, Boise State's head coach. He spoke with the media yesterday. Jay, we had about 3 minutes with Leon Rice. It was short and sweet, but we got some good stuff. So I do want to hear from Leon Rice, but I do want to remind you as well, BoiseDentistryCo.com. If you're looking for a dentist, check it out, BoiseDentistryCo.com. They got 5 locations across the Treasure Valley. Check them out. Location near you, full family dentistry, BoiseDentistryCo.com. You need business insurance? We got you taken care of. United Commercial Insurance, 229-8222, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. At United Commercial Insurance, they make business insurance easy. They can write policies in 44 states around the country. Check them out, UnitedCommercialInsurance.com. Ridley's Family Markets, go download their app. They got the new app in the App Store on your smartphone. ShopRidleys.com. You can find a location near you. There's 13 of them in the state of Idaho. The Kuna location, Middleton, Star. Love the locations in the Treasure Valley as well. You can get up to 40% off if you use the app. And again, ShopRidleys.com. You need some Boise State gear for the tournament? Check out the Blue and Orange Store, theblueandorangestore.com. Free shipping, any order over $40. And if you're in the Boise area, you can go in there on the second floor of the Boise Town Square Mall next to the Pro Image and pick up all your NIL shirts or coach's sideline apparel, all that good stuff in person at the Blue and Orange Store. Matt Bauscher, Bauscher Real Estate, the #1 ranked realtor in the Treasure Valley is Matt Bauscher, BauscherRealEstate.com. No home is too big or too small for Matt Bauscher and his team. Check them out at BauscherRealEstate.com. And maybe we can get an official confirmation while Jay is here today, but we're looking forward to June 2nd, the golf tournament at Timberstone Golf Course. We're putting our roster of local celebrities together. We have some cool announcements coming in terms of some athletes, maybe even participating on some NIL deals, some coaches. It's going to be way better than last year, and I thought last year was hard to top. So June 2nd out at Timberstone Golf Course. Come hang out with some of your favorite local athletes and coaches, and we'd love to have you. You can sign up now. Space is limited, so go to BroncoNationNews.com, click that golf tournament tab at the top, and don't wait. Register today before it sells out. Jay, you were one of the big-time celebrities last year.
I don't know about that. Probably
any
not.
chance we can get you back for year 2?
I always say, as long as you don't make me play with the Atkinson family, I'm in.
One of our sponsors, Atkinson's Mirror and Glass, is back again, and they did request to have you again, but we'll see what we'll see.
I don't know how to be anything other than sarcastic to that family. So to the Atkinson family, are they trying? Do you know if they're coming down? I would assume so.
For the game?
Yeah.
I don't know the answer to that, but they have already paid, and they are back in, and they already requested, if possible, they said they'll outbid anybody to have Jay Tust play with them. So we're
$5.
We're running out of time. We're over the time limit for Jay's contractual obligation, but I do you have a minute to play Leon Rice here? I'll put you on the spot. We're going to just play we won't play the whole thing, but I just wanted to get a brief snippet of Leon Rice after the team arrived yesterday at the team hotel.
These last 48 hours of preparation been like for you?
Well, it's condensed now that we get here because there's a lot to get done in the next 48 before we play. So, there's a lot of film to watch to start out with, but then as the more you watch, the better game plan it starts to come together. And so, the next 48 are pretty intense.
What is the feeling actually being here now, though?
It's great. And our guys are excited. That's why we practice here, too. You kind of lifts you up. It's not just, here we go, practice 120 at home. You get here, you get on site, and you kind of channel that energy of the excitement of what's going to happen.
Well, I was going to ask you, you mentioned this the other day at the podium, but Max was just a kid, and you got to watch all these things, and I got pictures of him on my phone of when he was just a kid. What was that like, your memories like then, and what's it like to see him get a play in the scene now?
It is. It's kind of surreal when you pause and think about it, and I saw a picture of him at the intro press conference when he was a little guy. And, it's neat for me because, like, Jeremiah has his kids on the charter with us, and it reminds me of when we were lugging all these guys around all the years, to all the different NCAA tournaments, and the great memories those guys have of it. The just being in the hotel, those kids loved it, and Jeremiah's kids will never forget this and how special it is. And they're at that age where they know our players now. It's pretty neat and pretty special memories for me and my family too.
Well, you asked the question there, Jay. Max Rice, and we were talking to Robin Rice. I don't know if you were there at that point, but me and a couple of people were saying, "Well, how many tournaments is this for you?" And Robin was counting, and it was like over 15 with all the Gonzaga years, coming to the ones with Boise State. There was a couple years where they went when Boise State wasn't even in it. They went to the championship game for Gonzaga down in Phoenix. But the Rice family has made a lot of memories in the tournament, and they can make another big one tomorrow.
A shout out to Robin, by the way.
Yeah,
she is the nicest, and.
But now that they have Kate on the team too, so they have two. This year's been extra special because we've seen Brock, and Brock's been on the show a couple times. And now Brock and Robin together are kind of watching it from behind the bench. You got two players on the team now. You got the coach. I mean, they've been going as a family for a long time. But tomorrow they could make another special memory.
They really could, and that's why I hope they're able to achieve it. They've given Boise State a lot, and they deserve to have this moment and to celebrate together and to play again on Saturday, hopefully, against a really good team in UCLA. One can only assume, unless UNC Asheville provides one of the biggest upsets in NCAA tournament history. So, but yeah, it would be amazing to see them accomplish all that. And we said you've basically been here for every NCAA tournament. I have been here for every NCAA tournament under Leon Rice, and you kind of look at these pictures from way back when, and you see Joe Hanstead and Ryan Watkins and a young Derek Marks and Jeff Aloriaga, and then like sitting on the couch behind all those guys is Max Rice, and now he is, he at one point in time he looked up to the legends, and now he's crafting his own, you would say.
Yeah.
Nobody scored more points in Mountain West Conference play for Boise State this year than Max Rice did. He is one of the most improved players in the entire country. They need Max Rice. I'm actually going to throw another stat at you here, BJ.
Please do, because as you're doing that, I'm going to throw our final comment of the day up on the screen here. Somebody's asking Willie about the Defensive Player of the Year in the Big Ten. How do you say his name? Audige, I believe.
I think they call him Augie. I don't know, though.
Okay, well, they're saying if he guards Rice, it could take him out of the game, because we did see against Utah State, they did a pretty good job of not letting Max Rice get open. That could be a key tomorrow.
I was talking on a radio show in Las Vegas yesterday, BJ, and that was my point. Like, there were some people that said, man, Max was a no-show in that game against Utah State in the semifinals. Max didn't play well. I hate to break it to you, but that's not the case. I mean, I know that Max scored 1 point, but Utah State just played unbelievable defense against Max, and I don't think that Max played bad. I just think that that's a game you tip your cap and you go back to work and you figure out how can you get Max Rice open shots, because he had no room against Utah State. And he even said after the game, like, some of the shots that he did take, which was only 6, only 1 3, he even said that some of the shots that he did take, he felt kind of forced because he was trying to get himself going. And so they have to find a way to get Max Rice some open looks today or tomorrow in order to have some success. The Boise State men's basketball team, BJ, when Max does not make a 3, they're 0-5 this year. Okay. I already told you this. I can't remember.
I don't remember. 0-5 when Max
0-5 when Max fails to make 1 3.
Okay.
That puts them 24-4 when he makes at least 1 3. I mean, that's a huge
simple as
swing
that
right there. So the key tomorrow: score 65 points, have Max make a 3, and we are on to the weekend.
That sounds like it's easier said than done, but it sounds pretty easy. Hey, by the way, we did start a BNN ESPN bracket challenge. I guess we will tweet out that link, Colin, and get that out there somewhere. Colin,
where can I win my money?
Colin did put it in the email, I believe. So if you're a subscriber of Bronco Nation News, you get the email with the link. We're giving away some golf at Timberstone Golf Course, some Blue and Orange Store gift cards. So no major monster prizes, but have a little fun and get some bragging rights on us. So that'll be the ESPN Bracket Challenge through BNN. Jay, appreciate you for coming over, man. Thanks a lot. Okay. Thanks to
hey, Colin, 7 minutes over. So we just bill Karen, or how's that work?
Well, in fairness, you showed up a little bit late. So.
Okay, well, we'll call it 5.
Okay,
I'll be in touch.
You when you were in the elevator with the AD at Iowa State, you failed to mention that you actually did get locked out of your hotel room.
It's because I know that I thought it was like this myth that if you put your key card by your phone, it would deactivate. And I've done this a number of times. I probably did it a dozen times last week in Las Vegas. These cards, seriously, they deactivate in like a second if it's just even by your phone. So. Whatever's going on here at the Holiday Inn or wherever the heck we are, their key card system needs to get a little upgrade.
Thank you, rowpaint.com. Thank you, Idaho Central Credit Union. Thank you, Lithia Florida Boise, the Blue and Orange Store, TCS, all of our great sponsors. United Commercial Insurance, Matt Bauscher Real Estate. We thank so much Boise Dentistry Co., the Blue and Orange Store, all of our great sponsors, Ridley's Family Markets. Thanks for helping us get here. Thanks for helping pay Jay to do these shows. And we appreciate all you guys for subscribing and watching. And we'll be back tomorrow morning. But first, we got a full day of interviews, open practice. So be checking Jay's social media at KTVB Sports Guy, watching for live newscasts on KTVB tonight. What do we got for the coverage of KTVB?
Live at 4, live at 6, live at 10. We'll have some morning show coverage as well. So whenever they'll give us a few minutes, we'll see you on the airwaves.
There you go. So watch
KTVB.
Watch KTVB. Check them out, KTVB.com, and you can check our coverage on social media and at BroncoNationNews.com as well. So thanks so much. Go subscribe. We got that Big Dance 23 promo. Big Dance 23 will give you $23 off a year subscription to Bronco Nation News, $47 for a full year if you use the promo code BNN, or it's just Big Dance 23. So go subscribe, $47 for a full year, Big Dance 23, and we'll get you we'll throw in a gift card or something to make you happy as well. But thanks a lot. We'll talk to you soon at KTVB, Bronco Nation News, all the various channels. Have a great day. We'll talk to you later. Boise State, Northwestern coming up in a little over 24 hours, and we have coverage throughout the day. BroncoNationNews.com.